Hey everyone, Psychiatrist here with another monk tanking video. This is a follow-up to my overview video, which just demonstrated some of the skills, a little bit about the build and the play style and the gearing requirements. A lot of the comments from that video were that people would like to see what it looks like in an actual four-man group, because I talked a little bit about how to position enemies and what the play style looks like in a group, but didn't actually demonstrate it. So I'm back here with a couple of my clanmates who were kind enough to let me record this session. You're joining us about 2/3 of the way through a Greater Rift 45, because this is about as high as we were able to trial up to last night. And what you're seeing right now is just me grouping up mobs into a stream of sentries that are already out. So we've deployed the sentries in this nice little alleyway, and I'm trying to make sure that all these trash mobs are just in a nice straight line, so that everything that those sentries are firing is going to hit them, and we get, of course, maximum area damage as well. So again, the group composition, a Witch Doctor and 2 Demon Hunters. The Witch Doctor is really going to be responsible for going ahead and pulling the pack. So he's gone ahead and actually has pulled these elites. He's locked them down already by grouping them up with piranhas, and then he's horrifying them, every 7 seconds, just keeping a chain of horrifies going, so they're not able to do anything. No abilities are coming out ideally. The things you want to watch out for in terms of affixes, you want to make sure that your DPS are aware of thunderstorm, mortars, frozen, jailer, all those things that have that nice big range. Well, not nice. Those things that have a really big range that'll just hit your DPS and one-shot them. So you want to call those out ideally. That way, if something's not locked down, that they know at least that they should be line of sighting it. So here I'm going to group up two groups of enemies, I should say. And that's kind of more what the monk is for, is positioning and applying debuffs and stunning if the Witch Doctor's not able to have something locked down for some reason. So I'm not always going to be spamming Cyclone Strike. This isn't about, smashing Cyclone Strike and bouncing everything around constantly. If he's got stuff locked down, if my Witch Doctor's got the pack locked down, then I don't need to be spamming it. Right? So you'll notice I'm not doing a lot of it unless it's just a big pack that's completely out of control. So here the Witch Doctor goes up the alleyway, but the champ is down to the south. So just had to watch out. If you get that situation, that's where you will engage first and start stunning. Got some nasty affixes here, frozen and electrified. You can kind of line of sight the electrified to a certain extent if you stand on the side between the DPS and the mob. So if you stand between them, you can line of sight some of it, especially if it's a doorway. Then it's great. But I wasn't able to really line of sight everything I needed to here, and too much damage gets out. So I res the Witch Doctor tank now. I always pop Serenity immediately right before you click that to do that res. Now that he's got the mob locked down again, I'm communicating with him saying, okay, you got it. And so notice the mob's not doing anything. It's completely locked down. A little easier to see when no damage is going out. And now I go out and res everybody else. Probably could have done that a little faster, but I really wanted to over-communicate and make sure we didn't have a total wipe there. So, moving on to the next pack, just trash, but again, the Witch Doctor's got it locked down. A lot of times with these big trash packs, it can get a little bit difficult. One situation you may find yourself in is you get stuck on one side of a group and you can't get to the other side to help the DPS out for some reason. And so I have seen some builds running things like Illusory Boots. Of course, you're sacrificing cooldown reduction to do that. But what I find is Epiphany, it's a love it, hate it kind of relationship with it. It has that teleport where it's going to teleport you to the thing you're attacking. And sorry, right here I'm bringing things together up into that stream of damage that's already out. But if you can target the enemies on the far side of a pack, it'll bounce you over to them and hopefully help you get out of that state where you're locked in the middle of a group because you did a Cyclone Strike. So try to do that when you can if you're totally boxed in by a group. This is a pull that I didn't do a great job on. Really should have backed these up into that stream of sentries that we already had as we came in. Enemies are flying. They're coming in over the walls. They're coming in from the bottom, from the top, and from ahead of us. I'm not able to Cyclone Strike and get everything like I want to. Epiphany is actually bouncing me all over the place because I'm clicking too much. And I'm not staying in one place and bringing everything together. I'm instead bouncing around as I click on things. So everybody else ends up going down. I need to res people again. So here I'm popping Serenity to get those reses out, making sure my Witch Doctor's got everything locked down now that he's back up, and then I go and get everybody else up again. So could have been cleaner on my part here. but a good demonstration of how to recover from something that could have easily, if everybody gone down, it could have easily cost you the rift. So everybody gets back up. We've got everything packed up and a little more tightly in the middle now, like we wanted to have it. And the reason I'm not Cyclone striking is I don't want to break the stun. So even though there's a couple enemies off to the side, I don't want to let these guys do any kind of abilities. You know, they've got Reflect, which will just murder your DPS. So I'm choosing not to Cyclone strike that in because it's not doing anything over there. And then we're coming up on our last pack of elites here before the Rift Guardian. You know, anytime you come through any doorway, around any corner, you want to make sure that you've got Serenity up. That's one thing you really got to get in the habit of as you get used to tanking at higher, greater rifts, because things will just one-shot you before you know they're there. A lot of things will, you know, throw spears at you, jump on you, shoot ranged attacks at you. Before you even see them, the attack is already in flight. So you have to walk into every room with Serenity up. You have to, especially when you're pulling a Rift Guardian, a lot of times they spawn a couple rooms away, and you got to walk to him, and next thing you know, you walk into the room, and he's on you, and you're dead. Trust me, I know from experience on that one. So always make sure you get in that habit of Serenity has to be up. So here we're just backing the Rift Guardian up to where we already had those sentries down from that champ pack. And now I'm going into full tanking mode. The Witch Doctor is not going to be able to perma-horrify. They're still going to be doing DPS on it and dropping that big bad voodoo. But they're not going to be able to perma-stun it. So it's my job to deal with the Rift Guardian, keep them stunned and frozen as much as I can, and keep them debuffed, of course. So all the regular stuff that we talked about in the overview video, I'm doing all the normal debuffs, Inner Sanctuary and Mantra of Conviction, and just keeping my debuff applied from Breaking Wave. Here I'm trying to move her back. That's why I kind of got off of her for a second. I was trying to get her to come back. She kind of backpedals. I didn't want her to go out of range of the sentries. And I guess one other thing worth pointing out about this group composition, I mentioned briefly the big bad voodoo. That's helping our hunters, our demon hunters get up over their next breakpoint. So they're able to still use, you know, whichever style of weapon they want and get that attack speed buff to help make sure they're at the breakpoints that they need to be at to get that extra step in damage. So ended up taking this one down. This was a new personal best for myself anyways. Hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to leave some comments, ask any more questions, and you know, if there's something I missed, I'll add it in the annotations.